I have two brief questions I'd like to ask, if I may.
Hi, welcome to Left Foot Media. My name is Brendan Malone and you're watching my brand new daily video, The Daily Question. I publish a brand new episode of The Daily Question every day of the week, Monday through Friday. If you've got a question that you want to ask or a topic that you want me to cover, or maybe there's a piece of current affairs or movie news that you've seen that you want me to talk about on The Daily Question, then please email it to me. The email address is watchthedaily@gmail.com, or you can tweet it at me at Watch the Daily. Without any further ado, let's get into today's question of the day. And the question is, should we talk about religion and politics at the dinner table? Now, the reason I'm asking that question is because about a week or so back, I polled my YouTube subscriber community to ask them whether or not they think I should start a daily video. And one of the comments that I received back from someone very nice and very charitable was, hey, look, I love the movie commentary you're doing, but maybe you should start a separate channel for all of the social commentary that you do. Now, trust me, I've thought long and hard about this issue previously in regards to my YouTube channel, and I've thought long and hard about it in regards to the daily question. Should this be something that's on another channel or not? And the conclusion I've come to is that no, it should all be on the same channel for a couple of good reasons. Number one is because the human experience, the human life is not lived in a compartmentalized way. You aren't just a person who has a love of movies and television and watching movie commentary on YouTube. There's a whole lot of facets of your life, and the same is true for me. I'm not just someone who has an amateur love of film and television and loves creating commentary about that. I'm not just a guy who's a husband. I'm not just a guy who's a father. I'm not just a guy who does a bit of fitness. Probably not enough, but does a bit of fitness. I'm not just a guy who enjoys getting out and hunting and shooting things. I'm not just a guy who has philosophical views about the world or religious views about the world. I'm the whole package. And so I want my YouTube channel to be a reflection of that. I mean, at the end of the day, you can pick and choose anyway what content you watch. I'm generally pretty good with my video titles so that you know exactly what the topic of the video is going to be. And you're free to choose. If you don't want to watch something, you don't have to watch it. I'm not going to be offended. And I actually think it's great that I have this diverse community of subscribers who aren't all just like some hive mind, who all agree and who are all here just for the same reason. Let your personality shine. If you don't like something, you don't have to watch it. The other reason I think it's really important to keep everything together in a unified whole on my YouTube channel is because I think one of the things that we haven't done so well in the West in the last sort of 20 or 30 years or so is we haven't been very good at talking and thinking and engaging and communicating and dialoguing well about the deep and important issues. Everybody has that one auntie who turns up to Christmas dinner and says, you shouldn't talk about religion and politics at the dinner table. And it's been a sort of motto or a mantra. It was certainly a big deal in my family, but you know what? I think we've done ourselves a disservice because effectively what that statement, that maxim is suggesting is that we shouldn't really talk about controversial or difficult or meaningful issues, especially if there's going to be disagreement amongst people about those issues. Instead, we should stay and only talk about the nice stuff, only talk about the superficial stuff where there's not going to be any disagreement around the table, where we can all agree and get along. The problem is that there are some really big and important and pressing questions about life and about society, and they demand our full attention, and they demand, I think, a proper, sound, rational investigation and critical thought on our part, right? The problem is if we're used to living in a very superficial world where we don't talk about the controversial stuff because you don't talk about religion and politics at the dinner table, then guess what? We're not going to be very good at that process, and that leaves us vulnerable as a society. It leaves us vulnerable to the sort of situation where really bad and dangerous ideas can easily gain a foothold because nobody is willing to talk about them. Nobody is willing to dialogue. It also leads to the current situation we find ourselves in where we just got this rampant tribalism, where we're in our tribal trenches and everyone's just throwing rocks at each other. No one is really dialoguing. No one is perhaps engaging well in a charitable and a civil way, even with a strong disagreement about issues. Instead, we just want people silenced for saying things that we disagree with, and that is not the mark of a healthy society. So my challenge, I guess, is that instead of fostering a culture in which we say, never talk about religion and politics at the dinner table. What we should actually be doing is fostering a culture where we talk about issues at the dinner table and we accept the fact that people are allowed to disagree, and it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You are not being oppressed. It's not a personal attack on you if someone doesn't see the world, even on major issues, the same way as you do, and that diversity of thought and that challenge when those sort of ideas butt up against each other is actually a good thing for us. It helps us to sharpen our ideas and get closer to the truth if we're willing to allow that friction to exist. And so that's why on my channel, ultimately, there's going to be a bit of everything. Like I said, if you don't like everything, you don't have to watch it, and I'm not going to be offended. And I love the fact that I've got a diverse group of subscribers to this channel. If you like the content I'm creating and you'd like to see more of it, then please support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Here's your chance to respond in the comment section below to what I've just said. Do you agree? Do you disagree? The floor is yours. Tell me what you think. And last but not least, don't forget, if you want to send me a question or a topic or a news article to talk about on the Daily Question, send me an email or tweet it at me. I'll put the details in the description below. What's that? You can hear the sound of theme music. So do I. That means it's time for me to go. I'll see you tomorrow on the Daily Question.